Now available in paperback and e-readers from SJS Direct. Isis, House of Isis. The goddess next door takes on a hustling Hotep high priestess in Harlem in this Afrocentric Isis series adventure. Pick up Isis, House of Isis at online booksellers today. And because they start down the road to financial independence, these young boys start taking the first steps towards manhood. And because they're taking those first steps towards manhood, what happens is these young men start learning a lot of basic life lessons, like learning how to set a budget for themselves and their everyday expenses, and learning the discipline to start saving money towards things they want to buy, and learning a value of a dollar, and learning the value of time as related to money. Those are the lessons that many white males learn early on, Hispanic males learn early on, Asian males learn early on, and they learn them because their mothers and their fathers make an effort to start putting them to work at an early age. Unfortunately, when it comes down to many of these black females who work at these big time jobs, everything is all about them and everything is all about their ego. And the whole thing about the boy is supposed to be a part of their world. And in many cases, she has an emotional hose attached to the boy. And because she has an emotional hose attached to the boy learns how to be codependent instead of becoming interdependent the way a healthy boy does. Because an interdependent person learns how to work with others, and they learn financial independence and learning that they have to take responsibility for their own money. But many black boys never learn this because these black mothers who said they could go out here and be the mother and the father don't teach them the lessons a father would teach them. Because a father knows that a boy has to go out into the world and make a living on his own. And he knows that a boy has to meet his own needs in the world because he is the only one who will be capable of meeting his own needs. And he doesn't get this from the mother because the mother gets her needs met by other people. When she's on the job, she's going to get her needs met by the job she has and several other people like her parents or other men that she's dating or involved with. And because she gets her needs met by others, she does not know how to teach her son how to meet his needs. And that's why she never thinks, hey, let me get my son a job so that he can start making his own money and learning how to be responsible for himself. And this is one of the reasons why we have so many of these Negroes sitting on their mother's sofa playing Xbox in many of these black communities or going online on his mother's internet, bickering and arguing with another man online all about his opinion. Because these boys are just sitting here because the mother allows them to sit there. And she allows him to sit there because in some cases she wants to be over someone. And some of them are having codependent relationships with their sons. They're trying to turn their sons into surrogate husbands. And this behavior is extremely unhealthy for a boy to participate in. If a mother truly cares about her son and she's got one of these big time jobs, she's going to make sure that her son has some sort of employment as he enters adolescence because she wants that boy to learn to be fiscally responsible and to learn the value of a dollar and to learn that if he wants something in life like those video games or that internet access, he's going to have to pay for those video games or that internet access. And because he would be busy working, he would understand that there are things in life far more important than sitting there playing video games all day or bickering and arguing with another man online until 2, 3, 4, and even 5 o'clock in the morning. Because a man understands that time is money when he's working, and because he understands that every second he spends that he's wasting is seconds he could spend making money for himself, he's not going to waste his time dealing with people who want to bicker and argue with him online, because he understands that he has to get up to go to work the next morning, and he understands that there are priorities far more important than sitting here bickering and arguing with another man online. This is what a man learns when he gets a work ethic. When a man gets a work ethic, he understands that anything he wants, he has to earn, and time is money, and he cannot waste his time dealing with things that don't make him money. So he's not going to waste his time going online for hours on end, because he understands he can take that time that is precious and use it for something far more productive than going online to bicker and argue with another man. That's what a man would learn when he gets a job. And that's what a boy will start learning when his mother puts him to work at an early age. He learns that there are more constructive things he can do with his time than sit here and bicker and argue with another man online, or sit here playing video games for hours on end. And he's going to learn that in order for him to get those video games, he has to be able to pay for them with money. Because when you have your own money, you understand the value of a dollar, and you understand how many hours it takes to pay for that one video game. And these are all, again, lessons that a boy would learn when he gets a job. Unfortunately, when it comes down to many black mothers, they don't think about this at all. They just think my son can just sit here, and what they're doing is they don't see how they're destroying their son, because their son is not learning the basic life skills a man needs to go out here on his own. Because again, a man is the only one who can go out here and meet his own needs, and if he does not take the lead, then he will wind up falling on his face. And that's why many of these black males wind up falling on their face, is because their mothers coddle them, they enable them, and they enable dysfunction in them. I believe if many of these so-called high-profile sisters with the big-time degrees and the big-time jobs were to give these boys some sort of first job, or work towards helping their son get a first job, it would really bring down a lot of the dysfunction in the black community. Because if these boys spent their time at work, they would not have time to sit here and bicker and argue with another man online, or sit out here and go out here and wreak havoc in these neighborhoods. If these males were out here working, they'd be too tired at the end of the day to even think about going online to bicker and argue with another man, or start some sort of beef or argument with another man. Because I know when I used to work 8 hours a day in an office, and even now when I work freelance, sometimes when I'm working on stories, I'm too tired to sit here and deal with somebody else and their online drama. And that's what a man would do, because a man understands that in order to make anything, he has to work for something. And a lot of these guys, it would be way better for them if one of these mothers, instead of buying him all those expensive things, got him that job and got him started on those first steps to manhood. Because when it comes down to a lot of these boys, they need to start taking those first steps towards manhood. And I also notice when it comes down to many of these so-called educated black women, they also do a disservice to their daughters as well. And when it comes down to their daughters, they'll sit there and they'll bully them, harass them, and they also won't give them any support as well. Because when it comes down to the daughters, they'll insist that they get a job, but they also, as they are working in human resources, won't go towards making any efforts to help them find that first job either. And they'll sit there and they'll bully their daughters and insist they get a job, but they won't make any efforts to support them in it. And I look at these black mothers, and again, you've got this big-time, high-profile position. You've got this big-time education, but you never make any efforts towards giving your children the things of intangibles that they're going to need to survive on their own. Whether it be the son or the daughter, what they do is they want to brag about their success and laud their success over their children, but then they don't want to give them help in the way a father would when he sees his son or his daughter. A father usually understands that they have to help their sons and their daughters by helping them find their first jobs and making efforts to support them as they start working on their first jobs. Because the ultimate goal a father usually understands is that if their sons and their daughters start working at an early age, they can start learning how to be interdependent and learning how to be financially independent, and they can start making start setting goals towards moving towards leaving their parents' houses and going out to be their own person. But because many of these black mothers are codependent and they want to continue maintaining codependent relationships with their children, they don't give them these tools. And this is really sad because, again, many of these black women sat there and said they could be the mother and the father. And when we look at what they've done to their sons, they have failed them. And when we look at their daughters, they have failed them as well. But they really have done a job on their sons, because the reason why we have so many of these Negro males standing around Arab-owned stores or sitting in front of a video game or bickering and arguing with another man online is because this woman is supposed to have this highly influential position and all this education, but doesn't use any of the knowledge from her education or the influence and clout she has supposedly have built up over the years towards helping build a foundation to take her son and her daughter towards the first steps towards manhood or womanhood. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to read some of my men's issues books like the Simp series, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, Escape from Transylvania. The Goddess Next Door and John Haynes must escape a horde of vampires on the hunt in this horror-filled Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Escape from Transylvania in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.